crying, I always know I'm needed somewhere. Or at least my wife is. Why is this always, there's like always, this one has a level, no?
Yeah, but even when it's like...
I always know
it's
I'm needed somewhere. It's always a little crooked.
Yeah, but it doesn't look crooked like on the actual video.
Okay,
No.
no problem. Okay, so today is Akshaya Tritiya. I'm going to actually go to Yashoda Dulal's Facebook page. Please don't mind my Facebook. Whatever you see is it's not up to me. So let's see, because Yashoda Dulal. That's not Yashoda Dulal. Oh, it's YDD, that's why. Luckily I found him. He had a nice post about Akshaya Tritiya, so I just wanted to go through what he wrote. I thought it was nice. I thought it could be appropriate for what we should focus on today, and what some of the Vedic histories that have happened on this day. First of all, we want to do auspicious activities on this day. Today is the day where you will get blessings for whatever you do on this day. So obviously you would want to do good things on this day. So work for things that are going to be beneficial for your life. So he says chanting japa or kirtan. Also, he says here, bonus points if you chant for someone else's benefit. This is very nice. But japa or kirtan. So we did some japa this morning. Piyush, you got to do some japa. No problem. But then we did some kirtan, very nice kirtan this morning. Giving in charity, you support your temple or a cow protection program or something like this. Gita Nagari near Vrindavan, he's saying some places. That's one thing. Serve devotees in some way. There's a good opportunity for us all to do that here, to be of service to each other and the community and the devotees. We have a nice opportunity. They have a senior Vaishnavi in ISKCON coming today. Devaki Devidasi, we should see if we can serve her nicely today. So that'd be great. He's helped build the temple of Krishna. We'll try, but we'll work on that. That's a big project for us here. But read the Bhakti scriptures or share them. So that's what we're doing now, Srimad Bhagavatam. So this is very good. And the significance of Akshaya Tritiya. I think they're saying Banki Bihari in Vrindavan, he shows his lotus feet this day. I don't know what that means, if he appeared on this day or what, but I think in the temple Banki Bihari, which is a very prominent temple in Vrindavan, I don't know if you've ever been, but he shows his feet on this day. Lord Parashuram, the Vishnu avatar, he appeared on this day. The Ganges descended to the earth on this day, which is nice. This day marks the beginning of Tritiya Yuga as well. I don't know. It's not Tritiya Yuga now, but that's just one of the things that happened on this day. Sudama visited Krishna at Dwarka. You saw Gurmaraj was crying telling this pastime yesterday. It was very nice. I was shocked. But this pastime happened. This pastime happened on this day, so that's very nice. The Pandavas received the Akshaya Patra from the sun god on this day, where they were able to feed everyone in the forest when they were exiled for some years. So this also happened on this day. It's a very auspicious day to receive blessings. Vyasadeva started composing Mahabharata on this day. Vyasadeva and Ganesh, they chose this day to begin their project. So this is very good. Now Bhagavad Gita, that means Bhagavad Gita was... The project leading to Bhagavad Gita has started on this day, so this is very good. Adi Shankaracharya composed the Kanakadara Stotram, which glorified Lakshmi Devi this day, which is very nice. Kuvera received his wealth and position as custodian of wealth from Lakshmi Devi on this day. So he became the treasurer of the demigods on this day. So very nice. It also said that goddess Annapurna Devi appeared on this day. So it's a great day to make food for the Vaishnavas as well. Even though Devaki Devi Dasi doesn't make grains, we should still, Annapurna, there's usually grains involved. We should make some nice dishes today. And the construction of the chariots for the Puri Ratha Yatra begins on this day. So this is very nice as well. We were singing Jai Jagannatha, even though Jagannatha was missing from our altar. This is very good because we're thinking about him. And actually Meghna, one of the benefits that we get now by having Meghna, there'll be some rules about, because this is the first time we have had a female in the ashram, besides my wife, for some time. So there'll be rules on how should be done, because it's very important. But she's bringing Jagannath, Baladev, and Subhadra. So this is our great fortune. So the construction of the chariots for Puri, Ratha Yatra begins today. And then in the temple of Shirachora Gopinath, this is a very nice pastime. In Shirachora is like the Kir, the Kir Chora is like a thief of Kir. So there's a whole pastime of how Gopinath stole the Kir for Madhavendra Puri, who was Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's guru's guru. But he was the first one who actually brought this Madhurya conjugal mood, romantic mood of worship to this world, actually. So he is the, you could say the father of this. I mean, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is Krishna himself. He wanted to bring this, but Madhavendra Puri was actually the first. So there's a really nice pastime of in the Chaitanya Charitamrita about how Gopinath stole the Kir for Madhavendra Puri because Madhavendra Puri wanted to make something very nice like this for his deity Madan Gopal in Vrindavan. So anyway, also the deities of Madan Mohan, Govinda, and Gopinath, these are the prime deities, original deities of Vrindavan established by the six Goswamis. They're all smeared with sandalwood pulp on this day. So it's a very, very auspicious day to be doing spiritual activities. It's a shame, actually, the way it worked out. I told everyone we'll cancel the evening program today, but actually it would have been a really great day to have an evening program. So I'm a little bit lamenting that, but I think it's a little heavy to have literally a program every day for like 2 weeks straight. So today is our off day for some rest, but from programs at least. But yeah, we should still be do very many spiritual activities on this day. So just thought I would mention that before we actually get into the Bhagavatam. But one of the things it's recommended we do is hear from the scriptures, and the Grantharaj, or the number one, the king of scriptures, is Srimad Bhagavatam. So hearing this on this day will be very, very beneficial for us. This is a long chapter, but it's Krishna entering Dwarka, and all of the festivities and pomp of Krishna's entering Dwarka has been happening now for some weeks even, at least here, are going through it. And we'll continue on with this, and we've been learning a lot about Krishna. We've been learning also a lot about the semantics of how the Krishna society is versus our society, how the women and men acted versus how in our society, and then Prabhupada is making a lot of comparisons between our degraded society in Kali Yuga and the ideal society of Krishna's Dwarka. So maybe we cannot ever expect to emulate that, but we can work towards having more ideal societal makeups in our own life. So by learning about Krishna's society, we can get a better idea about how we can make adjustments in our society, that we can live more in harmony and peace and love and spiritual culture. So, without further ado, I would like to hand the laptop to one of my scrollers. Meghna, you're usually pretty good at this service. And we will chant evoking the mercy of the Gurus, all the way up in cyclic succession to Radha and Krishna themselves. Om Jnana-timirandasya Jnananjana-shalakaya
Chakshurunmilitam yena tasmai Shri Gurave Namah. Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa-kadamyam Dadati Swavanantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta-padakamalam Shri Guru Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sogana Raghunatanvitam Tamasajivam Satvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padam Sagana Lalita Shri Vishakhanvitam Hare Krishna Karunasindhu Deenabandhu Jagapate Gopesha Gopanta Namaste Rakhatam Janagaurami Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanusuti Devi Pranamami Harindye Panchakalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhyev cha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namah Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta-vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Krishna Krishna Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swamini Namaste Namaste Saraswati Devi
One also thing that also has happened, at least solar, on this day is Piyush is having his birthday today. So let's see how we can celebrate with Piyush in a devotional way. That would be ideal. I really hope you get to have a very nice devotional birthday. It is a very auspicious day to celebrate your life. So this is very nice, and it's rare that you would have your birthday on Akshaya Tritiya. It probably has only happened once or twice in your life up until this point. So a really good opportunity for you over anyone else to celebrate your birthday. And then I know in Vedic culture, in Western culture, we like to get on our birthday. Like, yes, give me presents. It's very nice. It's my birthday. But in Vedic culture, I think it's very nice, or even at least Indian culture. I'm not so sure if the Vedic culture, they didn't celebrate birthdays like this. They would celebrate on based on the tithi. But, you know, in the Indian culture, oh, look, my little son and wife have made for Bhagavatam class. So this is his first Bhagavatam class out of the womb. So it's very good. A very nice day for it. But yeah, in Indian culture at least, you guys like to give on your birthday, and I think that's very nice. So yeah, you get like double bonuses. You get to give on your birthday, and then you also get to give for the cause of Akshaya Tritiya, you know, because this is going to bring auspiciousness to your life and bring auspiciousness to the causes that you serve. So yeah, great opportunity for you today, and maybe I'll talk to Narasimha. We can gather and give some birthday blessings, maybe tonight when Devaki Devidasi is here. Did you make big plans for today?
No plans.
No plans? Okay, so we'll have to make some plans tonight for some bhajan and celebrating. All right. Also, I think Meghna may move into the ashram today, which is a very auspicious day to start a spiritual journey. You graduated? You finished all your She finished all of her college responsibilities, which is it's a milestone. It's a very nice achievement. And now, on Akshaya Tritiya, you can take a step towards Krishna, and residing where Krishna resides is a very good step. So I think it would be a good day to at least maybe come and at least stay the night. Might be a good thing to do. So without further ado, let us continue our reading of Bhagavatam, and we'll begin. Patnyapatim prashya grahanupagatam Vilokya sanjata mano mahotsava Utastorarat sahasa sanashaya Sakam brate bridita lochananana Patnya, the ladies, wives of Lord Shri Krishna. Patim, husband. Proshya, who was away from home. Griha anupagatam, now returned home. Vilokya, thus seeing. Sanjata, having developed. Manamaha utsavaha, a sense of joyful ceremony within the mind. Utastu, got up. Arat, from a distance. Sahasa, all of a sudden. Asana, from the seats. Ashaya, from the state of meditation. Sakam, along with. Vratai, the vow. Vridita, looking coyly. Coyly, I think it's like shy. Let's, just in case. I like to know every meaning of everything we're doing. Coy, especially with reference to a woman, making a pretense of shyness, like pretending to be shy, or modesty, but it's intended to be alluring. So women, and they have this art. They know how to attract men with these type of things. It's just like men, we know how to attract women. We try to puff ourselves. Look, I'm very strong. Look what I'm doing. Something like this. Or we try and impress ladies with something like this. So they have their ways as well. The men and women, we all we have our ways. So they do it with actually a pretense of shyness, which is very nice. And you could actually hear about all kinds of how the gopis and Krishna exchange these type of things in the 10th canto. So at once, but what do we say? Looking coyly. Lochana, eyes. Anana, with such faces. Translation: the queens of Lord Sri Krishna rejoiced within their minds to see their husband home after a long period abroad. The queens got up at once from their seats in meditations, and as was socially customary, they covered their faces shyly and looked about coyly. So, following the social customs. Let's see what Prabhupada says about it. Oh, he has plenty to say about it. More kind of societal paradigms. Here. As mentioned above, the Lord entered his home palaces occupied by 16,108 queens. This means that the Lord at once expanded himself in as many plenary expansions as there were queens and palaces, and entered into each and every one of them simultaneously and separately. This is actually mentioned in the 10th canto. How it was, Dwarka has its public places. Krishna would take one form in the public places, and then he had 16,108 palaces. And as soon as he would cross through the gates into the palaces, he would take 16,108 forms and serve each wife uniquely, independently, and, just like, I'm not very good at it, but just like how a husband is supposed to be there for the wife and children in so many ways, he was there for each one of his 16,108 wives, fully. We can't even imagine. We can't. Some great mystic yogis who have cities can go up to maybe 8, 9 forms, but 16,000 forms it's impossible for a living entity to do, at our status, a jiva at least. But Vishnu Tattva or Krishna Tattva, he can do anything. So this is what he would actually do. And Narada actually, he experiences this, and this is mentioned. There's a whole chapter on this in the 10th canto of the Bhagavatam, or if you read the Krishna book, you can get through this chapter, and you can, even Narada Muni was just in awe to watch Krishna, all the activities, the infinite varieties of activities that Krishna would do in his family life, his responsible family life. So it's very nice. Anyhow, Just so you know what Prabhupada's getting at. Here is another manifestation of the feature of his internal potency. He can expand himself in as many forms of spiritual identity as he desires, even though he is one without a second. It is confirmed by the Shruti mantra that the Absolute is one alone, and yet he becomes many as soon as he so desires. These manifold expansions of the Supreme Lord are manifested as plenary and separated portions. Do you know the name of the tattva that's simultaneous oneness and difference? Yes, Achintya Bheda Bheda Tattva. This is revealed by Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So, the separated portions are representations of his energy, and the plenary portions are manifestations of his personality. Thus, the personality of Godhead manifested himself in 16,108 plenary expansions, and simultaneously entered into each and every one of the palaces of the queens. This is called Vaibhav, or the transcendental potency of the Lord. And because he can do so, he is also known as Yogeshwar. Ordinarily, a yogi or mystic living being is able to expand himself at utmost to tenfold expansions of his body. But the Lord can do so to the extent of as many thousands or infinitely as he likes. Unbelievers become astonished to learn that Lord Krishna married more than 16,000 queens because they think of Lord Krishna as one of them and measure the potency of the Lord by their own limited potency. One should know, therefore, that the Lord is never on the level of the living beings, who are but expansions of his marginal potency, and one should never equalize the potent and the potency. Although there is very little difference of quality between the potent and the potency, the queens were also expansions of his internal potency, and thus the potent and potencies are perpetually exchanging transcendental pleasures known as pastimes of the Lord. So we, being the jivas, we're actually, just like, what's a good example? There is a reservoir of energy, let's say a generator, what is this? What do they call this? A generation of electricity house. What do they call this place? What's that? Yeah, these are the machines, but there's the facility that generates electricity. Maybe the electrical engineer. Are you electrical engineer? What's that? Yeah, like a power grid or something. So there's an immense amount of potency there, but just even see the same potency in small form. It reaches us through the power lines and lights our homes and so many things. Our altar, gives the power throughout the whole house. We can have Wi-Fi, so many things. So that's us. We are the little remnants, the derivatives of the energy from the ultimate powerhouse, which is Krishna. So this is what he's talking about, the potent and the potency. We are like a little bit of, little bit of potential energy of the Lord, and we can do so many things. Human beings are quite amazing what we can do. There's many, many wonderful things that living entities can do. But it's nothing in comparison to the powerhouse. There's so much potential for the Lord to do. He has infinite potential. So we should never try and equalize ourselves, which many people, when they, like for instance, comment on Bhagavad Gita, they try to attribute Krishna to an ordinary man, and this is what he's saying, this is a teaching of an ordinary man, and then they just ruin the whole teaching, and they actually get rid of the name Bhagavad of Bhagavad Gita. Just Gita, just some, what they can call it the Nara Gita or something, like the song of the man. But Bhagavad Gita is the song of God, So we should understand this difference. Anyway, we here as worshipping Lord Krishna here the way we do, I think you guys understand that difference. At least we have some clue to it. One should not therefore become astonished to learn that the Lord married so many wives. On the contrary, one should affirm that even if the Lord marries 16,000 million wives, I don't know what the number that would be, 16 billion maybe? He is not completely manifesting his unlimited and inexhaustible potency. He married only 16,000 wives and entered in each and every one of the different palaces just to impress in the history of the human beings on the surface of the earth that the Lord is never equal to or less than any human being. However powerful he may be, no one therefore is either equal to or greater than the Lord. The Lord is always great in all respects. God is great, is eternal truth. Therefore, as soon as the queens saw from a distance their husband, who was away from home for long periods due to the battle of Kurukshetra, they all arose from the slumber of meditation and prepared to receive their most beloved. According to Yajnavalkya's religious injunctions, a woman whose husband is away from home should not take part in any social functions, should not decorate her body, should not laugh, and should not go to any relative's house in any circumstance. Actually, Prabhupada, the lecture I was having this morning, somehow or other, this was the subject matter. So it's good my wife is here with her baby son, because eventually I'll probably go away from home. And so Prabhupada was saying you should, this morning, you should dress like, very, very basic, very homely. Like, so wearing pajamas is very good. When I'm away from home, you can wear pajamas as much as you like. So anyhow, so this is the vow of the ladies whose husbands are away from home. At the same time, it is also enjoined that a wife should never present herself before the husband in an unclean state. She must decorate herself with ornaments and good dress and should always be present before the husband in a happy and joyous mood. We're good at this, aren't we? I'm failing on my end in so many ways. Trust me, you could ask her. The queens of Lord Krishna were all in meditation, thinking of the Lord's absence, and were always meditating upon him. The Lord's devotees cannot live for a moment without meditating on the Lord. And what to speak of the queens, who were all goddesses of fortune, incarnated as queens in the pastimes of the Lord at Dwarka. They can never be separated from the Lord, either by presence or by trance. The gopis at Vrindavan could not forget the Lord when the Lord was away in the forest cowherding. When the Lord boy Krishna was absent from the village, the gopis at home used to worry about him traversing the rough ground with his soft lotus feet. By thinking thus, they were sometimes overwhelmed in trance and mortified in the heart. Such is the condition of the pure associates of the Lord. They are always in trance, and so the queens also were in a trance during the absence of the Lord. Presently, having seen the Lord from a distance, they at once gave up all their engagements, including the vows of women as described above. According to Sri Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur, there was a regular psychological reaction on the occasion. First of all, rising from their seats, although they wanted to see their husband, they were deterred because of feminine shyness. But due to strong ecstasy, they overcame that stage of weakness and became caught up with the idea of embracing the Lord. And this thought factually made them unconscious of their surrounding environment. This prime state of ecstasy annihilated all other formalities and social conventions, and thus they escaped all stumbling blocks on the path of meeting the Lord. And that is the perfect stage of meeting the Lord of the soul, Sri Krishna. So actually, Prabhupada's alluding to some actually quite esoteric things here. And he's drawing from Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur's commentary on the Bhagavatam, which is quite esoteric. A lot of the hidden, more rasik or meanings dealing with the intimate exchanges between the devotees and the Lord. And so one of the things, two of the things they're talking about here, he's not actually giving the Sanskrit terms, but Vishramba means the devotee in separation from the Lord, and Sambhoga, or the devotee in meeting with the Lord. So there's different, you could say, facets of each. And he was talking about the Vishramba when the gopis, when the Lord would go out to the forest to cowherd, how they were always in ecstasy. They were actually even more in union with the Lord because they were completely on trance in their mind and hearts. And Gurmaraj was talking about yesterday, he was telling that pastime. I've told it before with the Krishna twisting the calf's tail and that gopi who wanted to see Krishna. But he was telling yesterday how once she met Krishna, she was so stunned, all she could do was but think of Krishna. So she was, at the well, and with the baby, and instead of drawing water on the well, tying the bucket to the well, she's tying the baby's neck to the well and about to drop the baby in the well, which is very bad, at least socially. But she was so much caught up in Krishna. So actually, even though she separated from Krishna, Krishna went away to the forest, she was completely united with Krishna through the trance. And actually that's what all the devotees of the Lord, when they actually get some darshan of the Lord, when they actually achieve the acknowledgement of the Lord in a personal exchange, they can only but think of the Lord. Now similarly, now Sambhoga sometimes happens, but actually now they're receiving some Sambhoga, they're meeting the Lord. And now, all these ecstatic things are happening within their hearts and their bodies. And actually, there's so much excitement and ecstasy that their social conventions oftentimes leave. You see this with the gopis, with the Rasa Leela. Krishna is playing his flute like that back picture in his bended threefold form. And he's just calling all the gopis, and anything they were doing, they put their makeups on wrong, they put all the ornaments in the wrong places, some had babies, they dropped the babies, not drop, but set the babies down, some had food on the stove, they left. Everyone is just, no matter what, they run to the Lord. And then upon meeting him, there's even a pastime. Sometimes you can have separation in meeting. There's a pastime with Radharani, for instance, where something was happening. There was intimate pastimes, and Radharani was sitting on Krishna's lap. And sometimes there are some friends who are allowed to see that. Very few of Krishna's friends. And one of them is Madhu Mangal. He's like a pudgy Brahmin boy. He likes to eat sweets, and he's a big jokester. So anyway, he's always making jokes and things, and they're very poetic. All of their jokes, they're always so poetic. And one of the jokes he was making was about a bumblebee. And some bumblebee was, you just say, oh, see how this bumblebee, he's going from place to place and then he's leaving. And oftentimes Krishna is compared to a bumblebee who goes from girl to girl to girl and he's leaving. So Radharani is like meditating on this and meditating on how Krishna is going to leave her. And she's literally sitting on Krishna's lap, lamenting. And then, Krishna himself also, he's so much hearing Radharani's lamentation as well. And then he starts lamenting, and here they are both literally one on the lap of the other, but they're crying about separation from each other. So these are some of the semantics of the intimate exchanges of the Lord. There's so much ecstasy where in meeting you feel separation, in separation you feel meeting, and so on. It's very very esoteric subject matter, but actually, if you read the Bhagavatam, I don't want to say it's a shame, because Prabhupada left us exactly where he needed to leave us so that we can delve into the works of the Acharyas. But Prabhupada gets closer and closer and closer to this, and then when he leaves this world, and in his Bhagavatam translations, that happens in the 13th chapter of the Bhagavatam in the 10th canto, when he leaves this world, from there on out, even the ISKCON Bhagavatam, they use the translations of some of these acharyas like Vishwanath Chakravarti to finish the Bhagavatam and give this kind of esoteric truth that Prabhupada was always leading us to. And it's impossible to just take someone off the street and just start telling him about all these things. There's so many foundational knowledges that have to be there, and that's what Bhagavad Gita is good for. Bhagavad Gita is giving you the foundational knowledge of spirit. But if you really want to understand some of the inner intricacies of Krishna Bhakti or relationship with the Lord, the Bhagavatam is our guidepost for that. So anyway, this is so much can be teased out in just one verse and one purport. So let's read a couple more. We started late, so we'll end a little late. Tam atmaje drishti birantaratmana duranta bhava parire bire patim nirudam apya shravadambu netrayor vilajatinam briguvarya vaiklava. Tam, him, the Lord. Atmajai, by the sons. Drishti bi, by the sight. Antara atmana, by the innermost part of the heart. Duranta bhava, insuperable ecstasy. Sorry, I need to Google that. What is insuperable? Insuperable means of a difficulty or obstacle, impossible to overcome. So, impossible to overcome ecstasy. That's very nice. Parirebire, embraced. Patim, husband. Nirudham, choked up. Api, in spite of. Ashravat, tears.
Yes.
Ambu, drops of water. Netrayo, from the eyes. Vilajatinam, of those situated in shyness. Briguvarya, O chief of the Brigus. Vaiklavat, inadvertently. The insuperable ecstasy was so strong that the queens who were shy first embraced the Lord in the innermost recesses of their hearts. Then they embraced him visually, and then they sent their sons to embrace him, which is equal to personal embracing. But, O chief amongst the Brigus, though they tried to restrain their feelings, they inadvertently shed tears. So, well, let's hear Prabhupada, and then I'll give whatever I know of it on this subject matter. Although due to feminine shyness, there were many hindrances to embracing the dear husband, Lord Shri Krishna. The queens performed that act by seeing him, by putting him in the cores of their hearts, and by sending their sons to embrace him. Still the act remained unfinished, and tears rolled down their cheeks despite all endeavors to check him. One indirectly embraces the husband by sending the son to embrace him, because the son is developed as part of the mother's body. The embrace of the son is not exactly the embrace of husband and wife from the sexual point of view, but the embrace is satisfaction from the affectionate point of view. The embrace of the eyes is more effective in the conjugal relation, and thus according to Srila Jiva Goswami, there is nothing wrong in such an exchange of feeling between husband and wife. So, just the semantics between husband and wife relationships is that there's a level of intimacy that is not present in any other type of relationship, but it's not socially acceptable. Like for instance, me and my wife know very well that we should never, in front of others, be embracing each other, any type, like in, you see now in Kali Yuga, the girls and boys are holding hands, and holding hands is not such a big thing, but so romantic, and sometimes they're kissing each other in public and things like this.
I was sitting out front that other day, and this young couple was walking through the neighborhood, and they just started making out like right there, and I was like, oh.
Yeah,
Good morning.
This is very degraded activity. This is socially very unacceptable. It's very degraded. So the wives of Krishna, they know this. But they want that. Their feeling, they're reunited with Krishna. Their feeling is so strong, they just want to embrace him. But because it's a social environment still, there's relatives, there's others around, they're like fighting, they're checking, but it's impossible to overcome, so which the tears are coming. The tears are coming. But it's very tasteful. This is a very tasteful exchange. Whereas, imagine, the wives all flung themselves on Krishna and began making out with it. It would be terrible. It would not make for a good Bhagavatam reading. But, it's not socially acceptable. I mean, in Kali Yuga, it's a very degraded age, and people want to flaunt their intimacy, put it on social media, look at me and my wife, me and most people not even wife, it's just their boyfriend, girlfriend, and it's just very distasteful. But, these feelings are there in a very intimate level, especially, there's this conjugal level with the Lord and his devotees as the wives. So naturally they want to, embrace him very intimately. But they're checked, so they send their sons to embrace him. It's also like a kind of a teasing leading up to it. But then later on, but they're trying to control themselves. They have an insuperable or impossible to overcome amount of ecstasy to see him again. So this is kind of what's happening. But anyway, one thing you could take from this, when you guys will inevitably get wives, it will come in your karmas at some point. Maybe some of you will take husbands. So very nice. Piyush, you have birthday tea from Michael.
Thank you.
It's
Can I
right.
make you tea?
What kind of tea?
It's that saffron rich.
Yeah, why not? Let's try. So birthday tea. Actually, it comes from Vrindavan, this tea. So you can thank my wife. Actually, my wife is. She's donated this saffron-rich tea to the ashram. So, do you remember donating?
Kind of.
Yes. So,
Just water with that?
I don't know it. I'm sure it's fine.
Sorry.
No problem. It's the endeavor that matters. So, yadyapya so parshvagato raho gatas tathapi tasyang hriyugam navam navam pade pade ka virameta tatpadat chalapi yachtrina jahati karhichid yadi, although, api, certainly, aso, he, Lord Shri Krishna, parshvagataha, just by the side, rahagata, exclusively alone, tathapi, still, tasya, his, anghri yugam, the feet of the Lord, navam navam, newer and newer, pade, step, pade, in every step, ka, hu, virameta, can be detached from, tat padat, from his feet, chalapi, moving, yat, whom, Shri, the goddess of fortune, na, never, jahati, quits, karhachit, at any time. Oh, that's pretty good. I don't know what he did, but it's pretty good. Although Lord Sri Krishna was constantly by their sides and as well as exclusively alone, his feet appeared to them to be newer and newer. The goddess of fortune, although by nature always restless and moving, could not quit the Lord's feet. So what woman can be detached from those feet, having once taken shelter of them? So let's see what Prabhupada's saying. Conditioned living beings are always after the favor of the goddess of fortune, although by nature she is moving from one place to another. In the material world, no one is permanently fortunate, however clever one may be. There have been so many big empires in different parts of the world, there have been so many powerful kings all over the world, and there have been so many fortunate men, but all of them have been liquidated gradually. This is the law of material nature. But spiritually it is different. According to Brahma Samhita, the Lord is served very respectfully by hundreds and thousands of goddesses of fortune. They are always in a lonely place also with the Lord, but still the association of the Lord is so inspiringly newer and newer that they cannot quit the Lord for a moment, even though they are by nature very restless and are moving about. The spiritual relation with the Lord is so enlivening and resourceful that no one can leave the company of the Lord once having taken shelter of him. The living beings are by constitution feminine by nature. The male or enjoyer is the Lord, and all manifestations of his different potencies are feminine by nature. In the Bhagavad Gita, the living beings are designated as para prakriti, or the superior potency. The material elements are apara prakriti, or inferior potency. Such potencies are always employed for the satisfaction of the employer or the enjoyer. The supreme enjoyer is the Lord himself, as stated in Bhagavad Gita 5.29. The potencies, therefore, when engaged directly in the service of the Lord, revive the natural color, and thus there is no disparity in the relation of the potent and the potency. So now you're going to get into a little bit of understanding like what we as a jiva are. And we were talking about jiva tattva. I didn't mention this the past few classes we did on this, but actually we're all feminine by nature, you know. So right now these bodies, you know, like for instance, Piyush's body is masculine, my wife's body is feminine, my baby's body is masculine, Meghna's body is feminine, and so on. We make these identifications, but this has nothing to do with who we are. Oh, you have a feminine body in the physical body. Oh, you have a masculine physical body. Even look, all of our acharyas, they have masculine physical bodies in this world. But actually, if you understand confidentially what their swarup or their true form is, it's feminine. And actually, this has to do with the nature of the jiva. There's prakriti and purusha. There's the enjoyer, which is the jiva, and then there is the not the jiva, is Krishna, and then there is us, and we are actually feminine as being the jiva. So actually, this is why you see he was talking about all the goddesses of fortune are always wanting to surround the Lord. Actually, this is the highest, you could say, destination for a jiva is that we also can be one of the many goddesses of fortune that surround the Lord in the heavenly abode. Actually, it's very interesting. I forget her name. There's a Catholic saint, and she was very, I think, not Saint Teresa or Saint Victoria, something like this, but she was, I think, Germanic, something like this, in Europe. And one time, in her deep meditations and prayers upon the Lord, she had a sphurti, or a vision of heaven. And when she saw the vision of heaven, what did she see? She saw this beautiful forest-like area with flowers and beauty everywhere. And then she saw this very, very dark, elegantly dressed figure and so many flower decorations, so much decoration. And then so many maidens. He was dark, and so many fair maidens following him, also dressed in all kinds of flowers and things like this. So this is you can look this up. You can research this. I don't know how she would ever come across, the descriptions of hidden, because pretty much for all intents and purposes, you're not gonna get a description of Goloka Vrindavan from the ancient Vedic texts anywhere other than India, even until Prabhupada brought this all over the world. It was pretty much locked away in India. But here she was in like maybe the 1400s, 1500s, having this darshan of such a place that only the ancient scriptures of Vedic India are describing. But she had like an identical darshan of it in her own meditation of what the kingdom of God is like. So this is very interesting. But anyway, this is actually the potential, the highest potential for the jiva, is to be also in this type of position with the Lord. And what that is, that can be revealed more and more by the works of our acharyas, specifically the Goswamis, who were guided by Lord Chaitanya to see like this. So, Parth, you doing some research there?
Yes, bro. I think what's Meghna sent in some post where exactly what you are saying and trying to find out. Sent long reference. The Christian saint and the Christian.
Yes, it's very nice. So generally people engaged in service are always seeking some post under the government or the supreme enjoyer of the state. Since the Lord is the supreme enjoyer of everything in or outside the universe, it is happiness to be employed by Him. Once engaged in the supreme governmental service of the Lord, no living being wishes to be relieved from the engagement. The highest perfection of human life is to seek some employment under the Lord's supreme service. That will make one extremely happy. One need not seek the moving goddess of fortune without relation of the Lord. So oftentimes we see most people of the world, they're chasing after the goddess of fortune. And what is the goddess of fortune? They're chasing after her opulence, wealth. Everyone is chasing money, money, money all day, every day. But these people are foolish, actually, because the goddess of fortune cannot be locked down in one place. So in India, they're very, in all the businesses, right, you see Ganesh worship is there, Lakshmi worship is there, everything. But why are they worshiping? They want to please them so they can get their benefits. It's not they have deep devotion to Lakshmi. You don't have deep devotion to demigods. If you worship demigods, it's actually because you have material desires. The only one you can really have true bhakti for is the one true Lord. And so that's revealed as, at the base level, Vishnu, but it's revealed as Krishna. So anyway, you see this, people are chasing after wealth, and even they do all kinds of elaborate worship. Most of the Vedas is karma kanda. Guru Maharaj was talking about this yesterday, 2 days ago. Most of the Vedas is actually karma kanda. How you can worship different demigods to get all the material desires that you are, all the different types of good karma you're looking for. But this is foolish, actually, because you go to the Lord. All the goddesses of fortune are surrounding Him. I've seen this in my life. I tried searching for job. Even when I found my wife, I'm in devotional life, but I'm like, all right, well, I need a job. I need something. I need, all this thing. We need money. I got my duties to make money. So I subscribed to that idea. I have to work. I have to do this. But then I just saw I was so discouraged in the work environment. This is terrible. I can't think of Krishna. And I would try to chant at Krishna at work, and then I was getting chastised at work. Even there's a devotee company, and I'm getting chastised for chanting at work. And I've told you this story many times, right? So I quit my job, and then Krishna gave me the whole salary for 1 year that very day, which is crazy. Anyway, I've seen this in my life, and what actually makes me happy. Now I have some house, even some income. The Airbnb is generating income. Part of the renters, people here, they're helping, and there's something there. But at the end, none of that makes me happy. It just gives me anxiety. Oh, what do I do with this now? Or like, oh my gosh, how do I pay this bill? All these things. But what makes me happy is this. I have service to the Lord every day. Even I had, me and my wife, where's the baby? But, when the baby is coming, we're kind of getting in some kind of friction. Why? Because I have some duties I should be doing, especially because my wife, there's really should be, mothers, aunties, grandmas, so many people around to help raise a child. It should not fall all upon the woman. Nor should it fall all upon just the woman and the man. So I'm trying my best, and she's trying her best, but she's telling me, well, you're still doing all of these things, and I just can't stop. I cannot stop. I cannot stop going up and worshiping the Lord. I cannot stop doing kirtan. I cannot stop doing Bhagavatam. I can't stop. So, we're having this. Why? Because this is what makes me happy. This is where I get fulfillment in life. This is where everyone will get fulfillment in life. They don't know, but this is where everyone gets fulfillment in life. So yes, even though babies come, everything but I cannot stop. There's no way for me to stop doing the Prabhupada's morning program. There's no way for me to stop, chanting my rounds. There's no way for me to stop reading and delving deeper into these intricate mysteries. There's no way. I cannot stop. So we have to make some adjustment. How can we help make the adjustment? But anyway, this was our friction. And in her, defense, we do need help, and so what that is, we don't know what it looks like. But by good fortune, a bunch of devotional ladies are coming here this month. Like we have Meghna moving in today, we have Adya moving in, and Adya's mother as well. And even Meghna's mother will stay for like a quarter of the month, or some time as well. So I'm hoping all the ladies around with the baby will be at least relieving to my wife until, But this is what makes one happy, is not having some material thing, or I have wife, I have babies, I have to make money, I have to do all these things. That will make me not happy at all. It just disturb me. But I have service to the Lord, and that's why we've been clinging on to this project now for so many years, is because we have service. We have service. And maybe someone could take it away from us. Krishna could take it away from us. But for really, it's very rare to get service to the Lord. We chant Hare Krishna. Prabhupada said the translation is, you're calling out, please engage me in your service. So Krishna has given us service. And so this is the greatest blessing that we have in our lives. He's given you all service too. I don't know if everyone is always appreciating. But you've given your service. What a blessing. You can't even fathom what a blessing that is. You can't fathom it right now. But when you make advancement and realize, and you have practical realization, because you'll experience the other aspects of material life, because it's impossible unless one is very qualified as a disciple and also has a very qualified teacher. It's impossible to just know right away that, yes, this is what I need to do, and I'm surrendered to this process. So what you'll do is you'll go in and out. Yes, I'll go a little bit devotional, but I don't know, this material thing looks good over here, and you'll go back to that. And you'll see it just causes misery and misery more and more and more. It becomes so much disturbing that you say, no, I have to go where there's service. My devotional service is the only thing, Even as something as joyous as having a child. I'm seeing, oh my gosh. It cannot disrupt the service, like this. So yes, some things are being adjusted. I'm not going out on books and things, even though today I would like to. I'm not going out on books and things like that I was used to doing, and I'm limiting many of the things that I was doing, even taking on new things like cooking. I like cooking, actually. So, but we have service. We should be really, really, really grateful for such a thing. And we should not chase anything else. You'll not find it. You'll not get the goddess of fortune. Whatever you're looking for, you'll never get it over here and over there and over here. You'll get it right here. Just sitting on Bhagavatam class, come in for the artis, chant your japa, do the prescription, and then the goddess of fortune is saying, oh, you're just like me. Come on, let's serve Krishna together. Here, I'll give you all facility to do. So you see, no devotee is bereft. No devotee is bereft. You see, even Michael now, he's given up all money for some time. He's taking like brahmachari ashram right now. Even the other day, someone, while him, Guru Maharaj and Mukunda were on pilgrimage, they visited the house and they gave Michael money. And I looked in the donation box and I said, what is this? And Michael told me where it came from. So this is very proper. And he's saying he doesn't need money. Krishna's providing everything. Everything is there, Now married life and raising family and taking responsibility for establishing projects, all these, I have to deal with money. I would love to not deal with money. I would love to do what Michael is doing. But too late, yes. But also it's just an evolution of the service, Even sannyasis or even Prabhupada had to deal with money when he starts organizing an international society for Krishna consciousness. He had to deal with money. He didn't want to, but he had to for service to Krishna. So sometimes in service you'll take stress for Krishna. It's good, but you'll realize that this is the very essence of life. I have service for the Lord. What a blessing. Most people don't. Most people don't, or their service is very, very minuscule, or their service is very, very motivated, and they're like business people with the Lord. Here, I'll give you a little bit of worship. Now give me what I want. I want my daily bread. I want my this. I want my that. I want my this. But, the devotees, we're trying to be anyabhilashita shunyam, without any material desires. Jnana karma dhyanabratam, without, tinges of knowledge and the rewards of knowledge, trying to become very learned, very proud of our learning, karma, trying to get all kinds of fruits, proud of our wealth and all of our material acquisitions. Or Adi, now I'm a mystic, look at me, I can meditate, I see auras in my third eye, or whatever. So many, people. I come from this background. I used to do stuff like that, so I know all the silly things they like to talk about and what impresses these classes of people, the yogis and whatnot. But none of these things are important. We were talking about this yesterday. I don't know, I kind of had that final question for Guru Maharaj yesterday. How do I was very attracted to him. He was crying in ecstasy about the pastimes of the Lord. I want that. How do I get this thing? I'm sometimes studying this, I'm doing all these things about, trying to remember shlokas and this, and remember all these philosophical things. But what sadhana can I do for that? How do I get this? And we chant this every morning. Nayanam galadashudaraya, vadanam gadgadarudhaya gira, pulake nichitam vapukada, tavanam agrahane bhavishyati. When will tears come to my eyes? When will my voice choke up and my throat constrain in the ecstasy of chanting your names? When will the hairs of my body rise on end? That's what we want. That's what we want. You don't want, when will my job come through, and when will I have the wealth and the house and the wife I'm looking for? When will I have all these things? No, we say, Nadanam najanam nasundarim kavitam va jagadisha kamaye mama janmani janmanishvare bhavatad bhaktira haituki tvai. I don't want money, women, fame, followers. What do I want? I only want your causeless devotional service, life after life. And we have it. You're given it. You're given the opportunity in this life. Will you even take it, though? It's like freely giving. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is setting up freely. Here, take the best thing ever. Here's the greatest treasure. And we said, no. See this great thing? I want a little coin that I see over here instead. He said, no, it has everything, please. We're chanting what is it? It's the life of transcendental knowledge. It gives transcendental bliss. Sankirtan gives everything. That's what the first verse of Shikshastakam. It gives everything. You can't even imagine how much it's giving. Everything that everyone, the nectar from which we're always anxious for. That's what we're looking. The real pleasure of life, it's giving. But we don't take. We prioritize something else. So anyhow, we're ending here. Any questions or anything? No?
The last one, there is no time.
You can, if you want, unless you have no time.
Yeah, I have just presented, but I have a couple of questions. I'll ask.
Ask tomorrow, no problem. Okay. So, Akshaya Tritiya is complete, our morning program. We'll have Devaki Devidasi today. If you could, over the next few days, you can try and serve her and hear from her. And, she's many years experienced in this process. She'll keep us on a very tight ship here, which is very good. We'll adjust our morning program to be the ISKCON standard morning program, meaning we'll do the English another time while she is here. And Hare Krishna. Malcolm. Meghna, welcome to the ashram. We're very happy to have you as well. And I'll tell you the rules at some point.